Greetings friends, and I'd just like to wish everyone a happy NHS Day. It being the first one and all. The thing is that I'm British. Perhaps my accent gave it away. Alright, British is easier to say than Scando-Anglo-Celtic. And there really isn't a national day for Britain in the way that the US has Independence Day and France has Bastille Day. While there is St George's Day for England, St David's Day for Wales, St Andrew's Day for Scotland, and St Patrick's Day for Ireland, and there are historic commemorations like Battle of Britain Day and Trafalgar Day, and they all have their place in commemorating parts of Britain's history. And indeed, I'm sure we can all agree that the sacrifice of the fallen is worth remembering, as we do on the 11th of November and Remembrance Sunday. There is, however, another form of sacrifice made, and I think it's worth commemorating as well, which brings me to why I chose July 5th for the celebration. For on July 5th, 1948, the British people made a landmark in social history. For on that day, the National Health Service was born. Like the Battle of Britain or Trafalgar, the NHS was and still is part of a struggle. Only of a different kind. Back in 1948, it was often known as the War on Want. Want being a term for poverty in those days. The War on Want was unlike that which the UK had only recently finished when the NHS was born, since it was about building, creating, supporting, and, to put it in the words of another phrase of the era, winning the peace. And much like how the American and French revolutions were inspirations for systems of liberal governance in the years since, the British NHS has marked the first healthcare system free at the point of use the world had ever seen, and would itself be an inspiration for many other systems in other countries. But so much more than that. For with the NHS's invaluable work, from the polio vaccine initiative in 1958, the world's first test tube baby in 1978, countless older women whose lives have been saved by breast screening. Meaning, on a personal note, the NHS discovered I had autism back in 1996, the ongoing work with COVID-19, and to the hope and glory of the everyday doctors, nurses, consultants and staff, including the mental health services who gave me the strength to make this video, by whose constant intercession the British people has, since 1948, relied for unfailing help. Made possible, of course, by the people of the NHS, drawn from across all walks of life, and as we see with those aboard the Windrush, the Ugandan Asians who joined in the 1970s, and Eastern European health workers of more recent years, others still arriving in their own time outside of a major block of migration, and the British people with them. We see them from across the world. Not that it has always been easy, as we see with the story of the Caribbean nurses, a source for which is in the description. But as time came forward, we also see acceptance and the shining through of a common spirit, that being the humanity and love for which the NHS stands, a care and love for everyone. Hence why I decided to create NHS Day on the birthday of the NHS, as a personal way to say thank you to the NHS for their tireless work in keeping this country safe and healthy, but also bringing together all those in this, to quote a phrase of my favourite power metal band, Union of Lands, to get behind and support something we can all agree is a good thing, the care and love of a health service that has nothing but love and care for all of us, regardless of our background or where we come from. The NHS brings us all together simply through care and devotion. I would now like to round off this video with a song. It's a new version of Out of Thee My Country. It is true that there is debate around the original lyrics, but for now I will merely say that those were for winning the war, and I've made some revisions in the spirit of the original, but based around winning the peace. I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love. The love that has no favourites, the love that counts no cost, the love that's ever searching to bring back all the lost. The love of joy and sacrifice, the love that sets us free. The love that joins and guides us to build eternity. I hear my neighbour calling for love that sets us free. All they want, a place of solace, a place to let us be. May divisions now be cast down, we're less different than it seems, as through it all we're people, with joys and cares and dreams. As we strudge through days of strife, keep our hearts towards the sun. May compassion shine on forward for us all and everyone. And there's another country they founded long ago, built on works of love around us, and in the love we show, we're not counted as an army, but we are one family, a shoulder to cry on, and to share the joys we see. Everyone a blessed monarch, where the least of us is best, as we welcome all who labour, where in thy peace find rest. Thank you to the NHS and for all the kindness in the world. I hope this has at least helped, and it was lovely having you here.